Whenever I see people with the Sony FX3 and then they have the handle, the XLR handle, I've always seen the mic holder on top of the handle, never taken off like this. But I wanted it like this because I use shotgun mics with the 3.5. So I just need this, I don't need the XLR. And I wanted to remove this, and I did remove this. And it ended up being a huge pain in the butt to remove this mic holder. I got so frustrated, in fact, that I ended up getting pliers and ripped it off. And here's what the mic holder looks like when I ripped it off. You can see here, the whole plastic is torn off. Here's the metal piece that I'd had to bend to rip it off. In fact, here are all the other miscellaneous pieces. And the reason why I had to do that is right here, there's 2 screws that screw that on. But this one, I accidentally stripped. It was really easy to strip the Phillips on that. And if you don't know what that means, when stripping the threading, you can see the threads here. So once those threads are stripped from the Phillips, it's almost impossible to get this unscrewed. I tried different methods that a contractor would to take off a stripped screw. So I used the rubber band method. I used that adhesive material that you stick on here to get some friction to try to unscrew it. That wouldn't work. Also, because of the way it was placed in here, it was really hard to get to. I didn't have a lot of torque to really grip it to remove it. So since this was stripped, I got really frustrated. I ripped everything out. And then once I ripped it all out, this part was exposed enough where I could just grab it like this and twist and turn and remove it. So the screw mounts inside the handle, I believe, are intact and not damaged. And I don't think anything, and there might be some little scratches here, but none of them doesn't look damaged to the point where I can't reattach another one. So I went online and looked for a replacement. These are not that cheap to replace. I found the cheapest on eBay, and here it is. I just got it. The cheapest, most reputable. There are some Chinese knockoffs that I've seen that were cheaper, that was under $50, but the one that was supposedly official by Sony, this one, this is also made in China, but this is supposed to be an official version of a replacement. So this plus these screws were about almost $100 with shipping and tax and all that stuff. So I'm going to replace it now. And see that metal piece? That was this. I was so angry with this, I just twisted it and removed it. And these extra screws. These screws just by themselves, I think were almost $20. So now I'm going to be really careful when I remove the mic holder, because now that I know how expensive it is to replace, and if I damage this, this is already a $400 mic handle that I think a lot of people have complaints with. I've seen a lot of complaints with this handle design. But I like it so far, except for this. So it's really just, you align the screws in there, screw it in, and it should be fine. There you go, there it is, already assembled in there. Opens up fine, everything fits. I did not break it. But here you can look inside here. See, those are the 2 screws, 1 and 2. And unless you have one of these yourself, if you just imagine stripping those screws where you could not unscrew it, and it was on there tight. I'm way more careful now of how I take this on and off. And I don't know if I like this design of having the screws in with such a small diameter here, where you need a really tiny tool and potentially have a strip those and you won't get them out. What I've seen with Canon, when they have their Canon mic holders, I've seen much bigger screws on the outside where you can get a lot more leverage to remove the screws. And even if you do strip them, because they're on the outside and you have the leverage, you can remove it even if you stripped the Phillips. So there's a cautionary tale of being really careful removing this mic holder on the FX3 and the FX30 handle.